Hello, today's objective is 3.10a. We will analyze a biographical text by explaining the author's purpose and message within the text. So we'll be talking about biography, just like the article that was in the benchmark about Bessie Coleman. And a biography is a type of narrative nonfiction that tells a story about a person's life. It's a narrative because it's telling a story. It's nonfiction because it's actually real facts about a person. Authors can have more than one purpose or reason for writing a biography. For example, an author may want to write a biography to entertain readers with engaging stories and to inform readers about events in the subject's life. So again, what is the author's purpose for writing a biography? It's to tell the events about a person's life, but at the same time, they'll add some things to make it entertaining, like as if it were a story. I will play this video in class, and I'll make sure I put it in the Google Classroom. It's just a brain pop video about what a biography is. And before we talked about theme, this biography starts off with sort of a theme. If at first you don't succeed, ... I don't know if you like chocolate, but this is Milton Hershey, the guy who created Hershey's chocolate. Have you ever had a really wonderful idea, but you couldn't make it work? No matter how hard you tried, it just never turned out the way you wanted it to. There is an old saying, if at first you don't succeed, try again. This can be difficult advice to follow. When you keep failing, you want to give up. Succeed just means that you come out on top. Maybe, for him, being a businessman, succeeding would mean making lots of money, running his business. So that's a popular theme that you're going to see in this biography. It says, one man who knew about trying and failing was Milton Snavely Hershey. He tried to set up his own business many times. Each time he failed miserably. He lost all of his own money and the money of his friends and family. But Milton was stubborn. He knew he had a good idea, and he was determined to make it work. Today, we can all be grateful for Milton Hershey's stubbornness. His good idea was the Hershey's Chocolate Company. Thanks to Milton's hard work and determination, we have Hershey's candy bars, chocolate syrup, cocoa, and other treats to sweeten up our world. What word in paragraph 2 helps you to understand the meaning of the word determined? Paragraph 2. It says, but Milton was stubborn. Determined. If you are determined to do something, it means that you won't let anything... What would you put in the blanks? Determined. Having made a definite decision to do something and not letting anyone prevent you. Milton Hershey made a lot of money from his chocolate company. He wanted to use his money in a worthwhile way. Instead of spending it all on himself, he used his money to help other people. Milton Hershey built an entire town called Hershey, Pennsylvania. In this town, he built homes, schools, and churches. He also built theaters, swimming pools, a sports arena, and an amusement park. Perhaps most importantly, Milton Hershey started a school for disadvantaged children. Milton knew what it was like to be young and penniless. He had no children of his own, but that didn't stop him from wanting to help other children. He gave his entire personal fortune to the school that is named after him. Today, the Milton Hershey School serves more than 1,000 boys and girls. List 3 things that Milton Hershey did with his money in order to help people. A philanthropist. Milton Hershey was a philanthropist. A philanthropist is a person who helps others by giving them money and other things they need. A philanthropist doesn't accept to receive anything in return. Milton Snavely was born in the little town of Derry, Pennsylvania on September 13, 1857. Milton's family had lived in the rolling hills of central Pennsylvania for more than 100 years. His great-grandfather built the farmhouse called the homestead in which Milton was born. What is a philanthropist? And what did Milton Hershey do to make him a philanthropist? Milton didn't live in the comfortable stone farmhouse for long, however. His father Henry was a dreamer. Henry couldn't seem to settle down to any one job or place to live. He moved his family many times during Milton's childhood. All of this moving made it hard for Milton to get an education. By the time he was 13 years old, he had attended 6 different schools. But Milton's father loved books and reading. He wanted his son to keep going to school. Milton's mother, Fanny, however, was more practical. She thought it was time for her son to learn a trade. This is young Milton attended this one-room schoolhouse called the Derry Church School. Using details from the text, explain why it is hard for Milton, why it was hard for Milton to get an education when he was a kid. Milton's mother and father came to an agreement. Milton would leave school and become a printer's apprentice. An apprentice is a young person who is learning a trade from a skilled person. In Milton Hershey's day, an apprentice usually lived with the person he worked for. Milton's mother was pleased that her son would be learning a trade. His father was happy that Milton would be surrounded by writing and newspapers. Unfortunately, Milton wasn't a very good printer's apprentice. After 2 years, Fanny Hershey found another job for her son. Milton would learn to make candy in Joe Royer's ice cream parlor and garden in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It says here, what does the word apprentice mean? The definition is here in the text. And here it says, where did Milton work when he first learned how to make candy? It's in paragraph 11. Also here it says trade. A trade is a job or craft that requires working with your hands or with machines. Carpenters, electricians, mechanics, and printers are all people who have learned a trade. Why do you think the author includes information about Milton's childhood in this biography? Little inference question there. Here's Milton's father, Henry Hershey, and his mother, Fanny Hershey. Milton liked candy making from the beginning. It was a tricky business, since there was no exact recipes to follow. Joe Royer taught his young apprentice to start with sugar, then add water and flavorings. He showed Milton how to let the mixture boil until the right moment. Then, together, Joe and Milton poured the candy out onto a big marble counter to cool. Milton learned that he had a special knack for making candy. Customers liked his caramels and peppermints and fudge. After a few years, Milton decided he had learned all he could from Joe Royer. It was time to start his own candy business. What do you think it means when someone has a knack for doing something? Said he had a knack for making candy. Use details from the text in order to explain why Milton first decided to start his own candy business. That's it. Thank you for listening to the video.